You'll find the link in the description box for Richie's new channel and probably in the pin post.
Okay, what's up, guys? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 21st. It's July. It's the year 2020. And with everything happening exactly as predicted, people kept hitting me up for gold and silver, and I'm like, I don't really have anybody that I know that can ship. And then I hit up Colin, and Colin can ship. So put his politics to the side, listen to what he has to say, and if you want gold or silver, hit him up. The links will be in the description, and you'll save. You see what I'm saying?
I got in on silver when it was about $12 an ounce. Today, it went over 21.
And he was.
And I'm not a big fan of cryptocurrency because when the lights go out and the internet goes down, you're going to be left with your dick in your hand. Pardon my language and my expression, but that's a fact.
Cool enough to send me this quarter. That's a quarter. That's a replica of a quarter made of solid silver. It's 5 ounces. I'm going to give it away to one of you guys. You see what I mean? I might even hand it to you, so we'll see how that works out.
That'd be cool as all hell, wouldn't it?
Again, if he mentions Trump, it is what it is. I try to keep him on just stacking gold and silver and where the dollar is right now. But he loves the mainstream. What are you going to do? And also, because both of my channels are being attacked, I just created a new channel. It's right here. Links will be in the description. RFB will be going down anytime now. And RFB2 just got hit with a community guideline strike. So it's a matter of time. So subscribe here. I'll try to keep it up on YouTube as long as possible, but they're going to make it impossible. Okay, here we are. Colin, I really appreciate you coming back on, brother. I have had subscribers killing me in the email and the comments for the last several months saying, what about gold and silver? And I'm like, I don't know anybody that's shipping. And then I thought of you, and you are shipping. You guys stockpile, correct?
Yes.
By the way, you can buy these PVC pipes, put the caps on the end, put your silver inside, and shove it in the ground somewhere. That's what I did. Don't keep it on you, because you'll get ripped off by one of your friends.
So when the initial shutdown happened, I had a decent amount of silver. I also just went into my own silver pile to get silver out for a few months because everybody was so backed up in the industry. You know, a lot of the major companies, some of them, there was a week or two where some of them took all the normal silver products that you would buy, Silver Eagles bars, and they just took them off the website because they didn't have inventory. Luckily, we had inventory and you know, some products people bought, we had to move them into other products comparable, sometimes better, sometimes I put them into better products. But ultimately, we got through that time period, and then once things opened back up, I went ahead and bought a lot of inventory just in anticipation that it could get shut down again with the mints. And for those people who don't know, like the mining companies also were not able to mine gold and silver for a few months. So you had a kind of a domino effect. And, you know, silver is really interesting because, you know, the uses for silver really are growing. I mean, just, you know, everything that we're doing, you know, us talking today, to electric vehicles, I mean, the amount of silver consumption is astronomical. And if you check out my YouTube channel, I have a quick little snippet about silver, just talking about how by 2030, which is not that far away, 50% or more of the cars on the road will be electric vehicles. And electric vehicles use a lot of silver. Long story short, we have a lot of silver products, all the products that people want. And that's why I did that promotion that I think you mentioned, that for the 5-ounce coin that you talked about earlier. If you have a qualified IRA for the month of July, you'll actually get that coin sent to your doorstep for free. Those are limited edition coins. They only make 30,000 of each type. So it will have some numismatic value down the road, and it's just a beautiful, incredible coin. And so that's something that people will get for this month if they start the paperwork with us. Even if IRAs can take a little bit of time, so even if you start the paperwork in July and the funds come in August, because it could take some time to move the money over. Regardless of that, we'll honor that promotion. And but yeah, it's a great time. Silver in March hit $13.20 an ounce, and today it broke $21 an ounce. So just the amount of gains that some of our clients have seen have been phenomenal.
So, is my audio good still?
Yeah.
Okay. So while everybody else can't ship, you've got enough silver just from your personal stockpile that you can just send me a random 5-ounce silver quarter. Because this is beautiful, dude. This is a quarter.
Yeah.
And then this is the one that Colin sent me to give to one of you guys, just randomly, even with silver going up. So that's pretty badass. Just type down the bottom that you're in, and we'll pick somebody.
Well, technically, I gave it to you, and then you decided to give it to someone. Well, we always sort of. You always just give it away. A lot of times I give you silver, and then you just give it to people. I mean,
it's all good. It's all good. I still blame it on you. So, right. So you haven't been on in a couple of months.
Yeah.
How are the girls, the twins?
Kids are great. Yeah, it's been amazing. I will say, every sort of negative is a positive, and me being home and being able to spend time with the family has been absolutely beautiful, and really connecting with my family because, like you, I'm sort of a workaholic. I'm always out there doing stuff, and not being able to go anywhere, just be home. I've sort of had to kind of realign myself, and to be around the kids right now has been fantastic. I couldn't. I'm healthier than I've been, and happier just in terms
right?
of.
You look good, brother. You look good. You look like you've been working out. So
yeah, I mean, I think not going out as hard as likelihood of you getting sick is pretty low too. So I have been sort of in a bubble, so to speak.
But you're in California. You guys are home by mandate right now.
Yes. Yeah, we're not allowed to open. We were planning to open in August.
Yeah, because Governor Newsom out here is a POS.
But we can't. But that being said, our staff has increased by over 25% over the last 3 months. We've extended our hours. So my employees, the team, the family, the Noble Gold family has really stepped up. I mean, there hasn't. I was just talking to one of my sales associates, Craig, who's been with us since the beginning, and he was, he's a little bit of cabin fever, but in a lot of ways, he's grateful in that, he's really been able to focus on work, and we've been really busy. So, and he's been helping people with gold for many years, and so it's been, in some ways, it's good not having to drive in, and he's able to really focus on work. So I think there's pros and cons.
Well, at least you're making the best of it, and I've known you for several years now, and you always put a decent spin on things. So I'm glad it's working out for you. It just sucks what the circumstances are. But check this out. We were talking about this before I hit the record. I just came from the far west coast, 4 time zones away in the last 3 days, all the way back to the east coast. On my way out, I saw one sign in a gas station saying, "Cash restricted. Federal Reserve is losing change, blah, 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 use your card." On the way back home, I saw it at every single solitary store. So they are literally making the dollar and change go away.
Yeah.
Now, I've called this thing the mark of the beast years ago, and I actually discovered that I was wrong. It looks like Bitcoin might be the way for a lot of people to go, but I don't know shit about it.
Right. And most people do. I think the education on cryptocurrencies has been.
Look, I don't trust crypto for one reason. When the lights go out and the internet goes down, so I guess that's 2 reasons. But when the lights go out, and it will, and the internet is going to go down, you're going to be left, like I said earlier, with your dick in your hand. Learn to barter, learn to trade, learn to craft. You're going to need it.
Been failing in a lot of ways. And even, I think we've done an okay job explaining it, but we're even Noble Bitcoin, we're rebranding and going to come out with more content to kind of explain to people what it is. But, Bitcoin in a lot of ways has a lot of similarities to gold in that, there is a limited supply of it, and it has to be mined to actually, be a coin. And so eventually there will be no more Bitcoin being mined. There'll only be 21 million ever. And so the idea is that because there's a limited amount of it, it should be better against inflation. Now, and I will tell people, and I always say that there is obviously risk with cryptocurrencies. The volatility is very high. But one thing to keep in mind is that if you've looked at it just from a currency standpoint since it's been created, it's really been a way to hold wealth since 2009. Obviously, some of the returns have been astronomical, but even in the last 3 or 4 years, now that it's sort of started to settle, I think it's becoming more interesting as more of a stable currency. And I think people get scared of it because they think, oh, I can't buy anything with it, which is not true, or I can't, it's not liquid, which is not true, or I don't have $9,000 to buy one Bitcoin, which you don't need $9,000, or I don't know the exact price of it this morning, but you can buy fractional amounts of Bitcoin, which is the other reason that in some ways it makes it a little bit more appealing than the situation you were in. And a lot of the reason that all the places all over the world and the U.S. aren't taking money now is, number one, they're worried about COVID. Two, it's very expensive to make pennies and change. It costs them, 6-7 cents to make a 1 cent penny. So I think we're moving away a lot of this from some of this cash, these pennies and quarters, and a lot of governments want to move towards these digital sort of applications. The problem is that the digital dollar isn't a great idea because the digital dollar is not worth anything. We're printing it out of thin air, and so we're just manipulating it. So these pennies are worth even less than what they should be, and Bitcoin has obviously exceeded. But gold is really, if you're looking at the true currency of the world, gold is the real currency of the world, and it's showing it right now because the government is just throwing money at all of its problems, stimulus. People are realizing this loose monetary policy does not work. It's not good for the average person, and they're moving money into gold, and that's why you're seeing gold. Gold is about $60 away from its all-time high. Silver, as I mentioned, is really on a historic run right now. So people are going back to the basics, and they're going back to what real money is, and real money has to have some kind of value behind it, either supply and demand, or it has to be something that people want to trade and barter with. And I think what you've said is that people are moving away from paper money, they're moving away from pennies, and they want a currency that has actual value. And I think that's what we're seeing happen in today's environment.
Let me ask you, this is just for myself, and other people are probably wondering the same. Is Bitcoin something that you can use to get gasoline, to buy things in stores, stuff like that?
That's a great question. I've never seen it at a gas station. However, I have bought a trip on Expedia. I've actually done 2 trips on Expedia with Bitcoin. I bought stuff on Overstock maybe a year or 2 ago.
See, but that's all online. And when they shut down the internet and the power, you're left with zero. Nothing in your hands.
But Overstock, it's Amazon and Overstock, right? Those are the two big boys when it comes to online retailers. So there is a number of places that you can transact business with Bitcoin, and I think really it's becoming more prevalent. I think it's becoming easier for people to use. I know in New York there's a number of restaurants that will accept Bitcoin, so it's just accessibility really. But in terms of being able for a company to get the money if they accept Bitcoin, you can literally get the Bitcoin today and the money would be deposited in your account the next day. So it's very liquid. I booked a trip.
It's as fast as a wire, basically.
It's exactly. When I booked a trip on Expedia, booked it where I wanted, said how I wanted to pay, said Bitcoin. I gave it the address where I was pulling the funds from, I pushed submit almost exactly like a credit card, submitted it, and it was there. The money was there, like nothing happened.
I can't believe I'm even talking about Bitcoin because, like I said, when it first came out, I'm like, this is evil. I can, they're gonna force everyone's hand. People are gonna have to go some other alternative route now. Period. Because a lot of people don't use debit cards at all. They use strictly cash, and they're like I said, in 2 weeks, East Coast, West Coast, they cranked it up at least 200%. Like if one store had it, every store had it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. And also, I mean, I think in a lot of ways, going away. The other thing about Bitcoin that's nice too is it's not controlled by any central bank or any one person. That's the other benefit that people like about it. It's independent of these institutions, which makes it sort of appealing for people like you and I that don't like our things to be controlled or manipulated. So I think there's a lot of elements of it. Listen, it's a new currency. There's a long way for it to go, for it to be universally accepted. But I don't think it's out of the realm that Bitcoin will be a universally accepted currency in the next 2 to 3 years. And I've said it a few times. I do believe that a country will probably eventually use Bitcoin as their currency of choice. I think that's going to happen at some point down the road.
I can't believe that the governments, the Federal Reserve, all these giant corporations haven't figured out a way to get in and take over Bitcoin from behind someplace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's not the case?
No, because the way that it's transacted is there's a mathematical formula that a very complicated mathematical formula that has to be figured out. And most of the mining, and this may give you some cause for concern, they say 90% of the mining of Bitcoin is done in China. So there are some other aspects of it that could be concerning, obviously, but there's always pros and cons to everything in terms of the grand scheme of it. But at the end of the day, it's what's happening in the economy, right? So we have an economy now that is it's stalled. It's just like when you go to your car and your battery died. I mean, that's what's happening, and there's no jumper cables in sight because we don't know when things are going to open up. And I can tell you this: the thing that will be really scary is depending what happens the election and then what's going to happen over holiday season. Because a lot of the retailers out there, they live off the retail season. And if we're in this stalled capacity, we have 11, 12% unemployment, and we have this election, and Christmas is not Christmas that we've seen in the past, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I can tell you that right now. Things are not going to get better anytime soon. We've been able to sort of hold things off with a lot of stimulus. And the other thing is that we had a really strong economy before this whole thing happened. I mean, we were in a pretty good place, but eventually the money is going to have to dry out. You can't just continue to throw stimulus at everything. And I think that's then eventually things will sort of hit the fan, and then we'll see where this economy really lands. And I think in a lot of ways, too much stimulus is bad because it stalls the actual collapse. In some ways, let's pull everything back. Let's have things fall apart first, and then get to the bottom of it, and then we can move forward from there. But we're just stalling the inevitable right now.
Because of this entire situation, everybody's turned into a money guy to some scale. I mean, the World Economic Forum has finally come out and said, what a wonderful time to do a great reset. Bring out the digital I mean, they're putting out YouTube videos, man. I've never seen that. That was always conspiracy. They'll never do that. Oh, yes, they are.
Yeah, well, there's blood in the streets right now, so they think there's an opportunity. And I think, listen, we're Americans. The Americans know how to pull ourselves out of it. I mean, we've gone through a number of market collapses. Nobody predicted COVID, but I also think that there were some markets that were highly inflated, and we're going to have a correction. The real estate market was inflated, equity market was inflated. I mean, you go to the Shiller Price Index, look that up after you get, and look at where the Shiller Price Index is today. Compare it to the Great Depression. We're basically right there.
We're neck and neck. I pulled those numbers up. We are neck and neck. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean we're there. It's just the stimulus has sort of kept things up, and people are hoping that things will turn around quicker. But I can't imagine that things. This year is basically going to be a wash for equities. They're just going to keep throwing money at it. We have an election year, which obviously everyone wants to get reelected. They're going to do anything they can to get reelected. So I just think there's going to be a lot of things that are up in the air, and that's not a good way to focus on your financial future. And we've seen gold and silver sort of react to that. And you're seeing a lot of the. It was interesting. Bank of America 2 months ago came out and said that gold's going to hit $3,000 an ounce, which was a bold. I mean, this was before this most recent run, and everybody thought it was such a bold statement. And now Bank of America looks, really smart, and that $3,000 estimate doesn't seem that unrealistic from where things are today. So everyone's sort of changing their tunes. If you look, a lot of the big Schwab and a lot of the big companies now are saying, there's a 40 or 50% chance that it breaks $2,000 an ounce. But they're saying that now when we're at $1,840 an ounce. So it's an interesting time right now. I think everybody's sort of backpedaling on their predictions that things are going to turn around quicker and it's going to be better. And it's really not. It's really a time to as an individual to look at your finances and also look at what your job and career is and find a career that's going to make sense in this new economy, because the economy of old is gone. A lot of these jobs that we thought were never going anywhere are not coming back. And everyone has to look forward and figure out what jobs are going to be either growing or jobs that are going to be continue to have stability for the future. And I think if people do that right now, if they just realize that the days of old are gone and we have to move forward, I think a lot of people will be much better off.
Check this out. Have you had a lot of people hitting you up asking why PayPal will not allow them to buy gold or silver?
We don't do any transactions on PayPal, so I haven't had.
Okay, because I ran into it personally right when this whole thing jumped off.
Yeah.
They let me, and then they said, there's a $547 weekly limit. That turned into a monthly limit. That turned into a 3-month limit. PayPal has just decided nobody can buy gold, which I found incredibly strange. And I'm one person removed. So it's not like they're just targeting me.
Right. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, it doesn't seem to make any sense. If you want to buy gold, why can't you use PayPal? It seems
it's a real.
The only thing I can think of is that I know that some people have contacted us and said they bought gold somewhere and they haven't gotten it for a few months. Maybe they're in some ways they're trying to protect the consumer from not getting their product.
Maybe.
So that might have something to do with it. Is they're setting these boundaries because they know the retailer on the other side can't deliver in a time period that's going to make you happy, and they want to avoid any type of complaints. So that would be the only thing I can think of. But no, I mean we're obviously lucky to be shipping and have inventory, and I'm getting a lot of. I will say I'm getting a lot of people saying I'm surprised I got my metals quickly, and it's exactly what we anticipated.
Dude, you mailed me 5 ounces for free and didn't even tell me it was coming. You told me like a month ago, and it still showed up. Nobody else is even shipping, so that's pretty badass.
Yeah. We're happy that we're able to get it out, and I love when people get metals. I mean, there's nothing better.
I know you do.
I had a client send me a video of them opening their metals recently, and I mean, anytime someone wants to send me that video, I love to watch that because I just love the joy of them opening it, and, pulling the coins out and everything. So
you're definitely a metal dude, man.
I'm sorry?
You're definitely a metal guy. You love this.
Yeah. I wish I could give the twins some of the coins that I put aside, but I think they'll put it in their mouth and choke on it. So I haven't been able to do that yet. But once they're old enough, they'll get their stash. So.
If people hit up Noble today and buy an ounce of gold, they can get it at whatever the price is right now, and it'll ship relatively soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, they'll definitely get it. They'll be happy with it, and not only that, they're going to talk to someone that loves gold and silver and is going to be passionate about the person on the other end. I mean, everyone at our company loves what we're doing. We do, even from the people that answer the